At the family party, while everyone was laughing and taking photos, my father suddenly raised his glass and said, loud enough for the whole room to hear, "Honestly, we wish your sister was our only child." The room froze for half a second. Then people laughed like it was just a joke. My mom didn't correct him. She just nodded slowly, eyes on me, like she'd been waiting years to hear those words out loud. My sister pretended to be embarrassed, but she didn't deny it either. I stood there holding a small gift I had saved for months to buy. It suddenly felt too heavy in my hands. Dad kept going. "She listens. She makes us proud. You? Always quiet, always useless, always wasting time." Someone whispered, "He's just joking." But no one defended me, because deep down, they believed it too. For a moment, my chest tightened. I wanted to explain the nights I worked silently. The plans I never told anyone. The things I was building while they compared me to someone else. But I didn't say anything. I just smiled. Because in that moment, I realized something important. People don't always disrespect you because you failed. Sometimes they disrespect you because they never understood you. Noise is loud when truth is weak. I put the gift on the table gently. My mom said, "Don't be dramatic." I nodded. No anger, no argument, no tears, just silence. At the door, I paused, not to look back, but to remember the feeling, the tone in their voices, the way everyone watched and said nothing. Some lessons only come through humiliation. Outside, the night air felt colder than usual. I took a deep breath and made a decision I didn't say out loud. No explanations anymore. Only distance and work. Behind me, they went back to laughing. They thought they had won. They had no idea what I was about to do next. I didn't call them after that night. Not out of anger, just clarity. I stopped trying to explain myself to people who had already decided who I was. Instead, I focused on something simple, my next step. I took extra shifts. I learned new skills after midnight. I stopped wasting energy on arguments that never changed anything. While everyone slept, I worked. While people laughed, I saved. While they compared me, I built quietly. No announcements, no social media, no drama, just progress. Months passed. My parents kept posting photos with my sister, new phone, new car, big parties. In every caption, the same line, "So proud of our perfect daughter." I didn't react, because pride that needs an audience is never real. Meanwhile, small things started changing. My sister's new car was suddenly under repair for weeks. My parents argued about bills. I heard from an uncle that a loan payment was missed. They still never called me, and I still didn't call them. Not because I didn't care, but because I was learning something important. You don't prove your worth by arguing. You prove it by growing. I studied contracts. I learned business basics. I started a small project with one client, then 2, then 5. Every payment went into savings. Every mistake became a lesson. Every lonely night became fuel. Sometimes I remembered that party, that sentence, that laugh, and instead of anger, I felt motivation, because humiliation can break you or shape you. Around the same time, my parents started asking relatives if anyone knew a safe investment. They were worried about money. I stayed silent, not out of revenge, out of patience. Then one evening, my phone rang. It was my aunt. She said gently, "Your parents are under a lot of pressure. They might need help soon." I looked at my small office, the quiet desk, the contracts waiting to be signed. For the first time, I realized how far I had come. No applause, no witnesses, just work. They were still talking about me, like I was nothing. I was already building something they didn't understand. They were still laughing at the quiet child. I was quietly becoming someone they would soon have to respect. A few weeks later, my parents called, not to apologize. They asked if I could come to a meeting with them and a bank officer. Just sit there. My dad said, maybe they'll listen if another family member is present. I went. At the bank, the manager greeted me by name first. My parents looked confused. He smiled politely and said, "Sir, since you're already a partner in the refinancing plan, we can finalize everything today." My mom blinked. "Partner." I placed the documents on the table calmly. The same small project I built in silence had grown into an investment firm, one that had quietly bought a portion of their debt months ago, not to control them, to protect them. The room went silent. My father's hands shook. My mother couldn't look at me. My sister stared like she was meeting a stranger. Finally, my dad whispered, "We didn't know." I nodded gently. "You never asked." No shouting, no insults, just truth. They apologized, voices small, eyes heavy. I didn't lecture them. I didn't remind them of that party. I just said one line. I wasn't weak. I was busy. I helped them restructure the debt, set clear boundaries, and left quietly. No drama, no victory speech. Outside the bank, I felt lighter, not because they were shocked, but because I had outgrown the need for their approval. They thought I was weak because I was quiet. They didn't know I was simply busy becoming strong. After that day, something changed. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. My parents stopped making jokes about me. They stopped comparing me to my sister at every gathering. They spoke slower around me, like they were finally choosing their words instead of throwing them. For the first time in years, they listened, but I didn't move back into old habits. I didn't chase their approval. I didn't try to prove anything anymore. I visited sometimes, sat politely, helped when it was right, but I kept my boundaries strong and calm. Because forgiveness doesn't mean returning to the same place that broke you. It means walking forward without bitterness. My sister tried to talk more. My mom asked about my work softly. My dad, once loud with criticism, now spoke with quiet respect. No one mentioned that party again. They didn't need to. Some lessons don't require repeating. One evening, as I was leaving their house, my father stopped me at the door and said, "We were wrong about you." I smiled gently. "I know," I said, "but I'm okay now." And I meant it, because real strength isn't proving people wrong. It's becoming someone who doesn't need revenge. Silence didn't make me weak. It made me ready. And in the end, respect came, not because I demanded it, but because I quietly became impossible to ignore. Months later, life felt peaceful. My parents spoke to me with respect, not comparison. My sister tried to understand me, not compete. I didn't remind them of their words. I let time teach them. Because real power isn't loud revenge. It's quiet growth. I didn't fight for their approval. I built my own worth. They once wished I wasn't their child. Now, they were grateful I was.